Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Anxiety and Depression is Not the End. We are episode number 20. Today is something that I want to talk about because it's, something that I learned through my journey. And I want to share with you because you might be someone that's, going through this as well. Or maybe there's a lot of things that you don't understand about the process of going through anxiety and depression. One of the things that I learned, one of the biggest lessons that I learned was finding who I was, because before I had my accident and before I had anxiety and depression, I was lost. I didn't know who I was, and I wanted to find out if there was a purpose for me, and I just couldn't figure out what I could do to make that a possibility for myself to believe that there is something for me to do, right? So I was unhappy. I wasn't depressed, but I felt like I was getting to a position where I was going to feel that way, right? So, your anxiety and depression is going to do one thing, okay? Your mind is going to tell you a lot of things, a lot of negative things. And the more, as day passes, I don't know how far you are into your anxiety and depression, but you're going to feel that the more you start listening to these negative thoughts telling you like how bad your life is, or that you are weak, or you're never going to heal yourself from this darkness, you're going to start to believe in it. And the more you believe in it, the more you're going to lose a sense of who you really are. It starts to transform you into someone that you probably never want to be, or there's a version of you that you thought that you can never become, right? And then as you feel like you're changing, your perspective about life changes. Your thoughts about all the things that you cared about, or maybe the people that you loved, or, some of the things that brought you joy and happiness, you start to forget all those things. And as you start forgetting about all these things in your life, you start to forget who you are, right? And this is just something that is part of this process that you're going through, this journey of yours. I know it's difficult, I know it's tough, and I know it's dark, but there is something that is very, very important that you are going to learn from this whole experience, right? Our life is like a big puzzle. And as we move forward along our journey, we are going to start to find some of these pieces. And some of these pieces may fit, and some of them, might not fit, right? But, they're both just as important, right? Because you need to figure out what are the things that you value in life, and how are they going to help you along with your journey, right? So, when I was going through my anxiety and depression, I started to listen to my mind telling me all these things, right? Like day in and day out, 24/7. And, I walked into the washroom, looked into the mirror, and I couldn't even recognize the person I was staring at. That's how much my anxiety and depression changed, my thoughts, and changed my perspective of who I was, right? And the more I started staring myself at the mirror, the more I felt like I was deep in this maze, right? I spoke about this in my previous videos about this maze, right? And in this dark forest. And, every single day it felt like, this maze, there were more exits that I had to search for. And I was so overwhelmed that it felt that I would never ever find my way out of this maze, right? And I started to lose more and more, a vision of who, I'm supposed to be, right? I started creating this version of myself that scared me. It scared my family. It scared my kids. It was just someone that I didn't even know I could become. And that's so scary because, imagine, living your life being someone that you don't know who that person is, right? And, you're going to, if you are in the beginning stages, right, it's not as bad. However, if you do not do anything to change the way you think, if you're not taking the time to take care of yourself, if you're not doing the things that are going to make you become a better version of yourself, like become better than who you were yesterday, you are going to feel like you're in this trap, You're going to feel like this, you're in the middle of this tornado, or something is pulling you deeper and deeper and deeper down to the depths of the bottom of the ocean, right? And that's when I hit rock bottom, because I wasn't able to figure out what I needed to do, to climb myself out of this darkness, and to help myself find that light, right? But I did, however, I look at this whole experience that I went through as a blessing in disguise, because I don't think I would ever be able to discover who I am, right? Like everything that I've been doing for the past couple of years, that this is me, this is the real me. And I wouldn't have been able to discover me if I hadn't had gone through that very, very dark chapter of mine, going through anxiety and going through depression and hitting rock bottom, all those things, right? Because when I decided that I wanted to start changing my life, right? That's when I realized how important every single day was to me during that darkness, because I learned a little bit about myself. I started to, there are a lot of things like being grateful for my family, and grateful for being able to wake up in the morning, to be able to breathe, to be able to to have people that surround me, that care for me. I started to forget about all those things, right? And the more I pushed all of those things away, pieces of me started to leave me, which made me feel that it wasn't me anymore, right? And it is so important to really think about all those things that really mean something to you, right? And like, if you can look back at your past, right, and you tell yourself that, hey, you know what, maybe I should start telling myself that these are those things that are going to bring me joy and happiness, bring it back into your life. Maybe it's those things that are going to help push you to move forward, to tell you that, hey, you know what, my life can get better, that I'm going to see brighter days again, right? And when you start to have that kind of mindset, day by day, you're going to start to discover a little bit more about yourself, right? I know that anxiety and depression you're going to feel a lot of inner pain. It's going to make you feel that you're separate from everyone else in this world, right? And it's going to make you feel that, I don't belong, right? But during that time when you are alone, during that time when you're feeling that you don't belong, this is the most crucial time for you to start to really figure out what is important in your life. What is it that you want in your life? What is it that's going to push you to get to the next level, right? Do you have that goal and that mindset to become that better version of yourself, right? Because maybe before your anxiety and depression, you were a version you were just exactly like me. You were lost. You didn't know, you wanted to find out who you were, but you weren't able to do that, right? So with this time alone, even though it's a sad time and a very dark time, use that time that you have, okay? And really focus on those things that are going to, number one, bring you joy and happiness. Number two, what are the things that you should be grateful for, right? And take the time to start loving yourself. Because once you start to love yourself, you're going to start to realize a lot more about yourself, right? Because you're going to start bringing that love energy deep inside, which is going to open your heart. And once you open your heart, right, the universe is going to start delivering, and you're going to be able to receive. And, then you're going to have a clearer picture of who you want to become, right? Stop chasing that version of yourself, which I did before, of the version before my anxiety and depression. You don't have to be that person again. That is the old version of yourself. There is a better version of yourself in the future, right? And as you are going through this darkness, as you start to take care of yourself and you start loving yourself, you're going to see this light get brighter and brighter. And as this light gets brighter, those puzzle pieces that you've been searching for, you're going to find them through this journey of yours, this dark journey of yours, right? They are going to start to fit. And as each piece starts to fit in, and as your puzzle, becomes bigger and bigger, you're going to see, you're going to be more clear of what you need to do, after you heal yourself from this, when you have overcome this darkness of yours. I didn't know what I want to become during that time. I didn't even think I had a future. I really didn't. I didn't think that I was going to become anything, that I was ever going to, be happy again, or if I was ever going to be successful, right? So that's when I kind of shut the doors on myself, and I said, there's no way I can ever, it's impossible. I kept telling myself everything is impossible, right? But once I started to believe in myself, and I told myself that, hey, you know what? No, it's not impossible. It is possible. If you really put your mind into something, it can happen, and it will happen, right? So, the future, no one knows what's going to happen, right? However, you focus on today, the present moment. There is so much that you can do today that can change your life, right? There are so many positive things that you could do for yourself, right? I know it's difficult, especially when your anxiety and depression is kicking, and it's like the first thing you think about are negative thoughts, and it just feels like there's no way I can think of something positive to help me move forward. But you can, trust me, you can do it, right? If you tell yourself, I need to start focusing on those positive thoughts. I need to start listening, to that voice that's telling me that everything is going to be okay. Okay, shift your attention to those little voices. And once you start doing that, you're going to see your life change. And as you start seeing those changes, right, you are going to find more about yourself. You're going to learn so much through this journey. I'm telling you, not everybody, is going to go through what you're going through, right? But when you come out of this, you are going to be just like me, and you're going to be telling yourself that it was a blessing in disguise, because without going through this darkness, you probably wouldn't have discovered all those things that you learned through this journey about yourself. And, once you find out who you are, your life is going to change dramatically.
Are you tired of those negative thoughts? Let's get rid of them.
I say yes to life. I have faith in myself. I create my life.
I am a creative person. I have unlimited energy. I feel good. Nourish your subconscious with positivity. Just listen to Inner Tune and start changing your life, one thought at the time.